RadioNOW 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.
Hello, I'm Emily Metheny, your host. This week, I had the chance to talk to an organization dedicated to helping dogs that live outside. Friends of Indianapolis Dogs Outside, or FIDO, has been around for many years, and co-founder and executive director Darcie Kurtz joined the conversation to talk about the organization's monthly food pantry, outreach programs, and more. She starts the conversation by giving some details about the group.
So FIDO is an acronym for Friends of Indianapolis Dogs Outside. So our mission is to improve the quality of life of outside dogs, and especially dogs that are kept chained up or outside in tiny pens. And so one of our main programs is outreach, to actually go out into the neighborhoods where we know a lot of these dogs live and literally drive down alleys, look for dogs kept outside, especially ones that are kept chained up in violation of some of our local care and treatment ordinances. And we do partner with off-duty animal control officers, ones that are, very proactive and friendly, and kind of the community policing model. And then we just go around, knock on the door, and in a friendly, helpful way, offer our help, let people know, especially like now when it's over 90 degrees, let people know that, there is an ordinance that requires dogs to be brought inside when it's this hot. And then we, offer inside training crates and flea treatment and whatever it takes to help people comply with the ordinances, improve their dogs' lives, keep the dog in the home and out of the shelter. So we always let people know we're here to help. So that's one of our key programs. We also have 3 other ones. We do build Spay Neuter into all of our programs. Obviously pet overpopulation is a problem locally, nationally, and so Spay Neuter is key. So we offer that for free to every household that we help. And we also have a pet food pantry, and we just had one last Saturday on the 4th of July, where people come to our facility, our warehouse, and we have tens of thousands of pounds of dog and cat food that we distribute. We're doing drive-through now with the coronavirus, but and it's for people who income qualify, and the need has gone up in the pandemic, probably tenfold for the new clients that come each month, just due to job losses and illness. So we know, that's something that is a service to the community that we definitely feel we want to be, doing, especially now. And we do build Spay Neuter into that also. And then speaking of Spay Neuter, so we have a transport program for Spay Neuter. A lot of our clients don't have reliable transportation, and we find that when we schedule them at one of our partner Spay Neuter clinics, people show up maybe 50% of the time. So, and a lot of that is due to lack of reliable transportation. So we offer that, where we, 4 days a month, we take our big cargo van and transport carriers, and we include dogs and cats, and we go to people's homes, pick them up, take them to the clinics, and return them after surgery. And we find we have probably a 95% success rate when we do the transport. And then our last program is our fence building program, and that is for dogs that, we find tethered on chains or in tiny pens. And so, once we've been working with the family and all the dogs in the home are spayed or neutered, then we schedule a day to come out and put up a large fenced enclosure. And we always try to tie it on to the back door to facilitate people bringing their dogs inside, because, we don't want to stick a little kennel out by the alley, and that's not a whole lot better than living on a chain. So it's always like trying to move the dog up to the house, to be part of the family, but give the dogs a lot of room to play and exercise when they're outside. So that kind of summarizes our core programs.
And if someone is looking to give to FIDO or donate food, what's the best way they can do that?
Yes. So to donate, the best way is to send a check to our P.O. Box, and that's P.O. Box 30069, Indianapolis 46230. We are obviously, a tax-deductible nonprofit. They can also donate through our website at FIDOIndy.org. There's lots of information there about our programs. And they can also donate through our Facebook page at Indy FIDO. If they have any questions, they can email us at info@FIDOIndy.org. And then for people who need our help, they can call our helpline, and that is 317-221-1314.
And if a neighbor sees that they have a neighbor who leaves their dog out, especially during the hot season that we are in, can the neighbor call and get help for their neighbor's dog?
So what we recommend is, because we don't have enforcement authority and Indianapolis Animal Care Services does, we recommend that concerned citizens call Indianapolis Animal Care Services. The best way to do it is through Request Indy. You can just Google Request Indy, and it's an online program reporting system. For people who don't have online access, they can call the Mayor's Action Center at 317-327-4622. And for the people who do want help, when the animal control officer goes out, they carry our information with them. We work very closely with them. So if the people are at all interested in making improvements, getting our help, they will loop us in. They'll have the people contact us, or we'll actually go back out with an officer to offer our resources. And we found that's just the best way to kind of triage the concerned citizen calls. But for people who want help for themselves, maybe an officer did go out and told the pet owner about FIDO, gave her information, and then frequently we get calls on our helpline from people actually seeking help for their own pets. But for concerned citizens, we try to kind of triage that through Animal Care Services, which works well.
Because there is that partnership and you can work together. Exactly.
Yep. And because we find if we go out there by ourselves and people are like, no, my dog's fine, I've been keeping my dog on a chain for, that's just how I do it, and I'm good. We can't really do anything, but if the officer goes out, they can say, well, actually, this is in violation of the ordinances. There are people that are available to help, this group called FIDO, and that tends to work really well.
And for people who are looking for the drive-through food pantry.
Yes, so it's always the first Saturday of each month. It is for Marion County residents. It is for people who, are in financial need and are agreeable to getting all their pets spayed or neutered. So we have it here at our warehouse at 1505 North Sherman Drive, and they would just plan to stay in their car. And it's from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. the first Saturday of every month. And we give a supplement up to 30 pounds of cat food and 40 pounds of dog food, depending on the number of animals in the home.
And what's the best way people can stay connected with FIDO?
Our Facebook page is a good way to, keep up with what's going on. We try to do, daily posts, and then our website also. We try to keep that, all the information in terms of our programs available. We have some blog posts. So I would say between FIDOIndy.org, our website, and then on Facebook or Instagram, they can kind of hear about the latest goings-on.
Excellent. And because we are in the hot part of the year, what advice would you give to pet owners who do have dogs who are outside?
Legally, when the temperature exceeds 90 degrees, dogs must be brought inside a temperature-controlled building, and that's defined as the temperature being kept between 40 and 80 degrees. So Sometimes people don't have air conditioning, but even a basement during the heat of the day is going to be better than out in that scorching sun. But if the temperatures are under 90 degrees, the dog always has to have fresh, cool water at all times. That's crucial. And shade. So legally, when the temperature exceeds 80, there has to be overhead shade, and a doghouse doesn't count as shade. That's just a little oven in there. It's got to be some large overhead shade, like a large overhead tree or a tarp. And there's got to be some kind of shelter. Well, I shouldn't say some kind of shelter. It's got to be adequate shelter at all times, which is defined as, solid materials, a sloped roof, a solid floor, and 3 sides. And then in the summers are really bad for outside dogs in terms of biting fleas and flies. So, the flies can make dogs miserable, chewing up their ears. So it's really easier just to keep your dog, inside most of the time during this brutal heat. Especially when it's really humid. Dogs pant. Humans sweat to dispel heat, stay cool. Dogs pant, and the same goes for all of us. When it's really super humid, they just can't, evaporate that heat. So, we always, tell people you just please keep your dog inside most of the time. Obviously they have to go outside to get fresh air and exercise and go to the bathroom, but in this extreme heat, they're better off inside the house with people, even it has to be in the basement, because temperatures over 90 can be life-threatening. That's why it's an ordinance, because dogs literally will die in temperatures outside. High humidity and in the 90s, could very well die of heat stroke.
Darcie, is there anything you'd like to add as we wrap up?
I think as a community, I think, we're doing better in terms of, caring for our pets, but, people just still need to be, aware of just, basic safety and welfare. If you think, you don't want to be out in this 95-degree weather where you're miserable, your dog's miserable too. And so, just keep an eye on them and keep them close, and, they'll have much better lives if we, don't ignore them in the backyard.
For the second part of the show, I had the opportunity to talk with John Helling, Director of Public Services for the Indianapolis Public Library. With schools deciding what the fall semester and academic year is going to look like, John gave some details and resources that students, guardians, and teachers can use from the public library, from databases to Wi-Fi. First, John explained how the reopenings happen for the branches and what patrons can expect when visiting the library.
So we started our reopening process in the beginning of June. We opened our branches in 3 different waves. We've made adjustments to every branch to increase the safety for our patrons. So, for example, we have the plexiglass shields like you might see in Target or in Kroger between staff and patrons. We've removed some furniture so people can't kind of gather in groups and things like that. And we also we have headcount limits at each branch to ensure that we don't overcrowd the space and break social distancing.
And then when patrons come in, are they required to wear a mask?
Yes, all patrons above the age of 2 are required to wear a mask in accordance with the Marion County mandate. All staff are required to wear a mask also. We serve, a variety of populations. We serve all populations, and including some very vulnerable ones. So we do want the environment to be as safe as we possibly can make it.
And then when it comes to programming, are you still able to do some programming, or how's that all happening right now?
Our programming has moved online. We tried to pivot pretty quickly to online programming. As soon as the pandemic struck and we all had to close down, we tried to bring as much as we could online. We're still doing things like story times online and things like that. We don't have access to our community rooms right now because when library materials are returned to us through the book drop, we actually quarantine those materials for 3 days, which is the accepted scientific lifespan of the virus on things like a plastic book cover. So we put those aside for 3 days, and we just kind of we let those viruses die off if they're there, so that we know that they're safe when we put them back. And so that's what we're using our community rooms for right now. So we don't really have the ability to offer programs at the moment.
And for the stuff that is online, where can people find information on how to access those?
Absolutely. So if people go to our website, which is just indypl.org, you'll see some links right up top that you can look at to access our e-resources. There's a link that says ebooks and streaming. There's a link that says research. If you're a student and you're looking for some support with a paper or some things like that, those are right up there at the top.
And touching on student resources, as the school systems kind of decide what they want to do, if they want to be virtual, if they want to be in person, if it's a mix of the two, what resources are available to students from the library right now?
That's a great question. We have a ton of resources for students. So our branches are obviously still open, so students are welcome to come in and ask a librarian for help. If they can't get to the library, if they can get to our website, there's a lot of things that they can access even without a library card. For example, we have the World Book Encyclopedia online, which is a great, kind of general resource for kids that you can access without a library card. With a library card, obviously, you've got a little bit more power. You can download ebooks. You can download e-audiobooks. You can stream video. You can access our databases and things like that. But there's just a huge amount of stuff that people can access right from their house if that's what they need to do.
And if students need to come in to use Wi-Fi, are they able to do that?
Absolutely. We do still have Wi-Fi in all of our locations. You don't even need to come in the building if that's something that you're not comfortable with. Our Wi-Fi extends into the parking lot at most locations, so you could actually just sit in your car with your device and get things done if you needed to.
Excellent. And on the teacher side, is there any resources available to help teachers as they're trying to reach everybody from classroom to houses to everything in between?
Yeah, so those same electronic resources are available to teachers. There's a lot of databases that are built kind of for students. So if teachers want to lean on those in their lesson plans, or if they want to send kids directly to those resources, we're happy to help teachers come up with ways to use them. We're happy to help teachers extend their reach to individual patrons if they need to. We're happy to do whatever we can to support teachers and students.
And if someone is looking for resources in general, are they able to call into the library? Are there people available to answer those questions?
Yep, absolutely. All of our buildings are open now with the exception of Lawrence, which is still being remodeled, so they can call us during the day. We're open 10 to 6 most days, and so they can just pick up the phone and give us a call, and we are happy to do whatever we can.
And where can people find all of the resources besides the website at ndpl.org? Are there also, how can they also connect with you on social media?
So, yeah, great question. So we have social media channels. We have Facebook. We have Instagram. We have Twitter. So, yeah, you can find us basically anywhere. We try to be as many places as possible.
Excellent. And, John, is there anything else you'd like to add about the reopenings, about resources, or about the libraries in general?
We're just happy to be back. It was tough for us to be away. We're extremely happy that our buildings are open and that we can welcome our patrons back. We've missed them quite a bit. We've hoped that they've missed us. So yeah, we're just glad to be back, and we're happy to do whatever we can.
If you want to reach out, or if you have topics you'd like me to cover, you can reach me at Metheny. That's EMETHENY at radio-1.com. Thank you for listening, and please join me again next week. Until then, have a great week.
Radio Now RadioNOW 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.